What's up, everybody? My name is LB, the realist with Surrealistic Studios. Surreal news, surreal at night, where the real is surreal. So I just finished my last chapter, my very last section, and my very last chapter of my real estate courses. I should have been done with these courses probably like 3 or 4 months ago, but I ran into a bit of a lazy spurt. Not a lazy spurt, but just kind of, my mind not being focused all on one subject, being real estate. So I kind of fell back a little bit, but I was able to get back into it and finish it. Altogether, it's been about 7 months. So I started in, I believe, January or February. So if it was January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, about 7 months now. And like I said, it could have taken a lot shorter of time, but I procrastinated like I normally do. But I finally got done with it. It was through Real Estate U. It's a real estate course company or whatever, one of them. And it's actually one of the cheaper ones. I only paid about 89 bucks. That was after I saved 10 bucks by plugging in the coupon code. So it's actually $99, and that was even on special from their usual price of, I believe, $149. You can find another cheap course somewhere. I believe Real Estate Express is another one, if I'm remembering the name correctly. And I believe they're a lot cheaper than the $89, but they prefer that you have some kind of real estate experience if you join their courses. And of course, I didn't have any experience, so I went ahead and went with Real Estate U as well as my wife. My wife actually, she's the one who pulled the trigger first on the real estate courses, and I followed after her. Now, because of her schedule and the nature of what she does, she wasn't able to finish the courses as quickly as me. Actually, she's still working on hers. So, because I got this night gig, I can come and pretty much put in a earphone or what do you call it, earbud, and pretty much take the courses that way while I'm doing everything else. So I think that it was pretty informative. I learned a lot, but at the same time, I felt as though if I would have went with another company, it probably would have been a lot more detailed. It probably would have been a lot better as far as the quality of the education. I did notice some incorrect wording in the way they worded some questions for the quizzes. I noticed some incorrect spelling in words that I think they meant to spell it the correct way, but instead they may have reworded it or spelled it in a different way. Excuse me. So it wasn't all perfect. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to just kind of breeze through the courses, because at first I was really taking my time, and I wanted to really soak up every single bit of knowledge I could. But as I realized that the tests were imperfect and that the courses in itself were imperfect, I just decided to go ahead and breeze through it, and then I'll just go ahead and cram for the regular state exam that I have to take now. So now that I'm done with real estate principles, real estate practice, and real estate legal, which is the third elective course, you need 3 courses altogether, all 3 that I mentioned, or you can take the first 2 that I mentioned, real estate practice and real estate I just said it, real estate practice and real estate principles. And the third one is an elective, but from Real Estate U, they make you take real estate legal. So I finished all 3. Now the next step is for me to go ahead and just apply so I can take the state test. So I'm not sure how that works. I'm pretty sure I apply online. They send me to some building or something. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to wait a month or so whenever they have the next round of testing. And then I go in, I take my state exam. After I take my state exam, I await the results. I'm not sure if they tell me that day or if I have to wait for the results. But either way, after that, I find out if I pass or if I fail. They don't care how many you got right or how many you got wrong. It's either you pass or you fail. That's it. So there's no real reason to try to get an A++ or none of that stuff. It's either you pass or you fail. And then once I get the actual license, or actually once I pass the test, they send me my license, where after I get fingerprinted and all that, you got to do a background check. Once I do all that, they'll send me my license, and then I'll be able to practice real estate in the state of California. So if you guys know of any brokers or real estate agents or anybody that's willing to or wanting to sell their home or property, anybody who's in the business or in the market of finding a home, please send them my direction. At the very least, even if I can't practice real estate at this very moment, I can send them to the right people. I can definitely point them in the right direction. There's a few people in my life right now who are very close to considering selling their homes. I don't know anybody who's in the market of buying homes at this time, but I do know a few property owners, and they're looking to sell. I'm not sure if they have anybody in mind already, but this is all valuable experience. This is all stuff that I need to get used to. Get used to talking about, get used to doing, and being involved in. My life is about to change here, and I'm glad that I made the step to do it, to change my life. Because one of my goals in life is to own a home for myself, to sign that dotted line, and to actually own a piece of property that I can then transfer to my kids, and they can transfer to their kids, and so on and so forth, to build generational wealth. The only way I saw myself doing that, especially in a city like San Diego, is to be in the industry in which I want to thrive in. I want to thrive in the real estate industry, so I should get a job in real estate, or a career rather. So that's what I did. So I finished the courses. I did the tests that I had to do after each section, after real estate practice, real estate principles, and real estate legal. After each one of those, you have a 100-question test that you have to pass. I just passed it. I think I got like 87 out of 100 correct. I think you can get like a 60% and still pass. So I passed with not flying colors, but I got 87 out of 100. So that was pretty good. And I'm ready. I'm not ready for the state test. This last test that I took, I'm not gonna lie, there was a few questions that I was very unclear about. So that tells me that I need to do a lot more studying and a lot more cramming before I take my actual state test. So that's what I will be doing. I need to figure out when I'm going to take the test so that I can properly allow the amount of time that I need to study. Because I'm really gonna have to cram. I don't wanna have to take this test 2 and 3 times. And no, I just want to be one and done, get my license, and move on already. So wish me luck with that, you guys. I'm on this real estate path. I realize that I'm walking a very thin rope, a very thin line between capitalism and progressivism, or capitalism and socialism, or I always thought that I was more of a social capitalist, but I don't agree with capitalism as it is now. If capitalism means that you have to extract all the wealth from the bottom to the top, and you have to get over on people just to make it, and you have to, stomp on the little guy just to get ahead, then I don't agree with capitalism. If that's what it is, then I don't agree with it. If there is a way that we can have capitalism but still take care of each other, like not everything has to be privatized. We do need regulations. I don't believe in a complete free market, like just a complete wild west free market. I do believe in regulations. I do believe in taking care of people. I do believe in social aspects of our society. I believe in Medicare for all. I believe in a living wage. I believe in UBI. I believe in reparations. So if that doesn't mesh well with capitalism, then I can't consider myself a capitalist. I never really did consider myself a capitalist. But I do believe in having variation. I do believe in having, you know, a private marketplace that's outside of the government. I do believe in that. So I'm not exactly all the way socialist, or I guess I'm not all the way communist, which is I see a lot of people on the left are pushing for. And I'm not there yet. You know, I don't think I ever will be there as far as communist goes. As far as socialism, it's a lot more possible than communism. And in this country, I think we do best to have a mix of both, a social capitalistic society. A capitalistic society, meaning we have options, we have variations when it comes to products and services and goods. But socialism in the aspect of when it comes to Medicare, you know, everybody's covered. We're not profiting off of people's illnesses and deaths. You know, when it comes to a living wage, you know, we're not just a wild, wild west where you can pay somebody $1 an hour. Like, no, that's unacceptable. That is completely unacceptable, and I don't agree with that. So I say I'm a mix between both. I'm a social capitalist, or a democratic socialist, or a social democrat. But then again, I'm not a Democrat anymore. Recently, I re-registered as an independent. So this was the first time I've ever done this. I've always been a Dino, or a Democratic name only. So I've never really felt like a true Democrat, like for the party, but I always considered myself a Democrat on paper. Recently, I went to the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, a couple weeks ago, or a week or so ago, or something like that. And I changed my ID, and they asked me if I wanted to register to vote. And I said I would like to unregister as a Democrat and re-register as an independent. So I'm technically an independent now. So I can't really call myself a social Democrat. I'd be more of a social independent. Hey, I think I like the sound of that. I'm a social independent. I like that. Social independent. So yeah, that's new. Like I said, I finished my real estate courses. That's new. What else is going on in the world? Oh, my granddaughter. Oh, poor baby. She had this real bad rash going on, so my wife had to take her into urgent care. Poor child. She was, oh man. She doesn't cry like that. She doesn't cry really at all like that. So she was crying today, and it was just like this cry that made me feel so bad for her, like she was in pain. And I'm just like, oh my goodness gracious. So my wife took her to the doctor, and they told her she had a rash. They gave her some, I guess, some antifungal medication for her. So we got to be watching her more, and you know, just to see if she's all right, what she's going through. I noticed she was like getting red all over her body, and she's real light skinned. If you guys have seen her, she's way lighter than me. You know, she's white skinned. So the red patches really showed up on her, and it looked really bad. But according to my wife, she's feeling better now. She's doing better. She's smiling, she's giggling, and all that stuff. So we just got to give her the medication and make sure we keep an eye on her. What else is going on in my life right now? That's pretty much it as far as me. That's pretty much it. Around the world right now, we got Hurricane Henri. I thought it was Henry. Apparently it's Hurricane Henri, but now I guess it's not a hurricane anymore. They downgraded it to a tropical storm, I believe, and now it's in the Northeast right now. So a lot of places in the Northeast are flooded, dealing with heavy rains and all of that jazz. Other places of the country, such as out west over here where I'm at, we're dealing with the largest fire in California history, apparently. Burned over 720,000 acres. Whole towns, a town named Greenboro or something green. I mentioned it in another video. The whole town is done. Most of the town is burnt. Most of the town is burnt to the ground. You know, and there's another town too. I forget the name of it. A lot of these towns are just getting burnt. These mountain towns are getting burnt. They said it was like the size of 3 or 4 times the size of San Diego. Like, that's how big the Dixie Fire is. It was a bunch of fires that just merged together. You know, if I'm speaking on that correctly. So we got fires going on. We got hurricanes, tropical storms going on, flooding, just all kinds of stuff. Haiti just got hit with an earthquake, you know, and then they got hit with the hurricane. It's just a lot going on in the world right now, folks. Joe Biden has pulled us out of Afghanistan. We still got some troops there trying to get people out. Apparently, the news story is that the government is supposedly working with the Taliban to try to get Americans home, safely. But a news story is that not all the Taliban are created equally. Not all the Taliban members are allowing the Americans to reach the Kabul airport in order for them to be extracted. A lot of them are being harassed. A lot of them are being held at gunpoint. A lot of people are being held at gunpoint with grenade or rocket launchers, apparently. There's this video of this Taliban guy holding a rocket launcher, pointing a rocket launcher at somebody. You know, so it's crazy right now. It is crazy. Man, oh yeah, and there's one more thing I wanted to talk about before I end this video. Excuse me. We got the California recall election going on right now, in which people want to recall Governor Gavin Newsom, and they want to replace him with somebody else. Now, my ballot is at home right now, sitting on my desk, waiting for me to fill it out. I've been purposefully waiting for two reasons. Number one, they originally sent my ballot to an old address at my mom's house. So it was at my mom's apartment. I was going to go get it. I just haven't done it yet. And number two, I want to vote for somebody, but I'm not sure if I should. Now, let me explain further. I don't think that Governor Gavin Newsom should be ousted or should be recalled because of his handling of COVID. No. But I do think that having some new blood in that office would do us very well here in California. Governor Gavin Newsom, you know, just fun facts, you know, not to completely judge him for this, but just fun facts. Apparently he's Nancy Pelosi's nephew, number one. That is never a good thing. I don't need the Pelosi's. Look, we don't need that in politics, okay? We don't need that in politics. People need to be judged on the actions that they do, not by who they're related to, but at the same time, who he's related to is not a very good person to be related to as far as politics is concerned. It's not good that he comes from that same corporate bird, you know? He was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle from Fox News, if you guys remember who that is. She was from Fox News. I'm not sure if she's still there or she's not still there, but she did a lot of reporting with, what's that other, is it Kimberly Guilfoyle or something like that? You guys know who I'm talking about. The Fox News host. She had a lot of cringy takes back when I did see her on the show. You know, so Gavin Newsom, he has these ties to the corporate monopolies or the corporate powers that be, you know, the political hacks that we all hate so much. He's connected to all these people, and having some new blood in that office, I think, would be a great thing for California. Now, the person that I would like to see there, his name is Kevin Paffrath. I've mentioned Kevin Paffrath before. He goes by the name of Meet Kevin on YouTube. Now he's calling himself Meet Kevin Paffrath because he tried to put Meet Kevin on the ballot and they refused to put Meet Kevin on the ballot. So he's listed on the ballot as Kevin Paffrath. He's what he considers a moderate Democrat. I'm sure he would call himself a centrist. But he doesn't, he says moderate Democrat. And the only reason he's really running as a Democrat is because he feels as though that's the only way he can win. He's really the middle type of fence sitter type of person. Usually he talks about finances, stocks, cryptocurrency, investing. And that's why I follow him. That's why I watch his YouTube channel. He's a YouTube host that started off as a real estate agent, then became a broker, then became all these other things, and now he's a financial advisor on YouTube. Well, he decided that he wanted to run for governor recently, and he's been receiving a lot of support. Right now, as far as I can tell, he's the #1 candidate as far as Democrats are concerned, running against Gavin Newsom, that is. The #1 Republican is a guy by the name of Larry Elder, I believe, and this is a guy that, made disparaging remarks about women, and, he's a guy that wants to reopen California and, without any kind of restrictions or mask mandates or anything like that. So he's totally against, the mandates, vaccines, and all that stuff. So as far as Larry Elder is concerned, a Republican running California when the Democrats are in charge is pretty much, useless. But aside from Kevin Paffrath, he is the top candidate running against Newsom. But I think that Kevin can edge him out. I'm not sure if he'll do it this time around. I do think if Kevin Paffrath loses this time, if he runs next time, I really think he'll win. I seriously think he'll win because he's running as a moderate Democrat. So there's no reason why, the Democratic base shouldn't support him. The only reason they wouldn't support him now is because they feel as though they got to keep Gavin Newsom in office, because if Gavin Newsom doesn't stay in office, then it goes to Larry Elder, and then we'll have a Republican running California. That's the main consensus amongst shit libs, is that we have to keep Gavin Newsom in office, regardless of what you think about him, because he's a Democrat, and vote blue no matter who. Now, I think that Kevin Paffrath has some good ideas. I don't have my computer in front of me, so I can't read to you exactly everything that's on his platform. But I'll give you guys the basic overview. He's for legalized gambling. He's for fixing the congested traffic situations in California. He talked about building underground tunnels in California just to alleviate traffic, which is interesting because I've never, to my recollection, just personally, I don't hear about the traffic situation being brought up that much. He wants to do something called future schools, in which he'll pay people a universal basic income to go to his future schools, in which you can learn finances, investing, how to be an entrepreneur, and how to get real jobs, like real careers, such as like plumbing and AC, refrigeration, that kind of stuff. You could actually go to school and learn that kind of stuff and get paid to do so. Excuse me. And in his mind, this will, eliminate the need for social safety nets, such as welfare and, Medicare, Medi-Cal, and all this stuff. Because if you have a great job, you have great education, you'll be making great money. You won't need these programs. So he's for that. And he's also another thing that really caught my eye with Kevin Paffrath. And mind you guys, he's the same guy that I witnessed on his YouTube channel handing out stimulus checks because people didn't receive their checks fast enough. He's a guy that literally handed out stimulus checks to people because he's rich already. And don't get me wrong, he's not a billionaire. He's a multimillionaire for sure, and his assets are worth that much. But he's not super rich. He's rich enough to fly private and spend a lot of his own money for his campaign. But he's not like an uber rich guy or anything like that. He's doing pretty well for him and his family. He's doing outstandingly. He's doing outstanding. I'm not gonna take that away from him. But he's no billionaire. He's not accepting any billionaire funding or money, and he's not accepting. I don't believe he has any super PACs or any kind of dark money influencing his campaign. I mean, if he did, I think he'd be a lot further along than where he is now, and he'd be a lot more accepted within the Democratic establishment, in which that's not the case. The Democratic establishment has gone out of their way to basically keep Kevin Paffrath from winning the nomination. They've, most places haven't given him any shine at all. They won't give him an interview. He's had to go to Fox News just to do interviews, which reminds me of somebody that we like and admire and watch all the time, Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is another person who we won't see on MSNBC or CNN, but we'll see on Fox News and Tucker Carlson, won't we? Same with Kevin Paffrath. He's, and he's running as a moderate Democrat, but the establishment is not really messing with him. So that gives me hope that he's really running as an outsider to the Democratic establishment, and of course, once he gets in the office, he can change his tune and he can really become a part of the establishment, and everything that he said will go out the window. But it hasn't happened yet. Honestly, I got my ballot at home and I'm interested in finding out. Now, I do know that there are a couple of Greens running on the ballot. I understand this, and I do support the Green Party overall. In this scenario, because I support the Green Party, but I also admire and support Kevin Paffrath, I think I'll be going with Kevin Paffrath this time around. Now, because I'm an independent, I can vote for Kevin Paffrath. And that's how I feel about it. I think that he has a lot of great ideas. Did I mention already? Did I forget that? I think I forgot to mention this, but he wants to eradicate homelessness. I think I forgot to mention that. Yeah, so that was the last thing that I admired him about. And one of the things that's on his platform is he wants to completely eradicate homelessness. Yes, he wants to open up facilities, not internment camps, but facilities that help to facilitate the homeless, that help to, give them mental health treatment, help give them drug treatments. If they want a place to stay, if they want 3 meals, and water, they can have that. If they want help, they can have that. It's going to be a state of emergency, basically. He's going to enact a state of emergency. He's going to get the National Guard involved, and he's going to have them go out and take care of the homeless situation. His thing is he doesn't want homeless people sleeping on our streets anymore. Number one, because it's not right. Everyone deserves a place to rest their heads. Everyone deserves a roof over their heads. And number two, we don't need the homeless to be roaming the streets and everybody is just walking around them and stepping over them and like it's okay. Like there isn't, pee and excrement all in the streets. Even where I work now, I'm constantly plugging my nose up because I'm smelling human feces and human, what's the correct word for piss? Human urination. There you go. I'm smelling human urination and human defecation all over the streets of downtown San Diego. And that's not right. A lot of these people not only need homes, not only need food and money, they need mental health treatment. They need people that care. They don't need a gun pointed at them. They don't need jail time. They need treatment. They need assistance. All right? So that's one of the things that Kevin Paffrath is in favor of. And it's one of the things that he's taken upon himself to champion that issue of tackling homelessness. So that's really admirable. I also really love the Future Schools idea. And if you're a fan of universal basic income, you should be a fan of that. So he has a lot of great ideas, folks. There's more to it than that. Some things that I don't like about Kevin Paffrath. Number one, he calls himself a moderate Democrat. That's number one. Number two, I think he could be better as far as addressing people's concerns instead of minimizing people's concerns. A lot of the times I'll hear him in a comment, on a live video, and he'll answer questions, but he'll say that he's not really interested in this policy or that policy because he's not focused on that. He's focused on all these other policies, and that policy is not really that important in comparison to these policies. I completely understand that. I would just raise him just when you're governor, there's a lot more than just 4 or 5 policies that you have to, be in charge of. Now, given if he wins, he's only going to have a short amount of time to get things accomplished, before the next election. Fine, I get that. But as governor, when you're in politics, you have to think, you have to do more than just 3 or 4 different policy ideas. There's more to it. There's more to the job than just that. And you should be aware of that. And you shouldn't minimize people's legitimate concerns, and their policy specifics. You should, listen to them, and you should address them. Even if you don't necessarily think they're as important as another issue, you should still address it in some kind of way. So I think that's one thing that he can improve on. And because he calls himself a moderate Democrat, it scares me that he'll get into office and he'll change his tune. He'll get into office and he'll follow, the military-industrial complex, or, he won't really be a champion for progressive issues. And he likes to say that he's a moderate Democrat, that he's not far right and he's not far left. So that also concerns me, because he talks about the far left and about how he's not in favor of far left policies or far right policies. So it makes me question, well, what is a far left policy? What is a far left policy? So he was actually in San Diego today. I really wanted to show up, but I didn't find out until today, and then everything happened. So I wasn't able to go there. But if I was there and I got to meet Kevin, get it? I would have asked him, what is your stance on Medicare for all? And as governor of California, would you be in favor of implementing some kind of a single payer system for our state? That would be my question for Kevin Paffrath. And hopefully his answer would suffice. Hopefully he wouldn't give a BS answer and it wouldn't turn me off from him completely. Because I'm really interested in his policies. And honestly, I'd rather meet Kevin Paffrath than Governor Pelosi's nephew. I don't want a Democratic insider. I want a Democratic outsider. So leave me your thoughts in the comment section below, folks. I'm going to leave this one here. It's already 32 minutes long. It's going to take forever to upload. So like this video, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Love, peace, and light. Do some kind, rewind, all my information down below. And until next time, I'll catch you guys on the next video, all right? I'm hoping you guys are well. And if not, I'm hoping you do better. I'm hoping we all will. All right? I'm out.